Sentry mode activated. Target acquired.
Hey there hunters, and welcome back to the Gunners Guild. Gonna have a lot to talk about today with the 12.01 update, but I'm gonna try to make this quick as possible, so let's just jump right in. So, patch notes. Ultimately nothing too exciting, but there are two notes. The first thing is that Luna is gonna start feeling way worse now since they quote unquote fixed the issue where Luna was not doing her new instant Nova attack. Yay, can't wait. And the second is that they gave gunners a nice quality of life change, and now that when you swap items or loadouts in the tent, it automatically loads up your ammo. Before, if we swapped equipment before we did items, we would come out of the tent with empty clips. Now that doesn't happen anymore, so woo, I'll take it. I'll link the patch notes in the description if you want to read through them though, but that's pretty much the only things that really stand out for us. Next, monsters. Obviously, we got the Stygian Zinogre fight now, which is pretty cool. It's not really the same fight as it was before, but that's just fine. Hit zones are kind of weird. They flip-flop what's good and bad between normal and charge states, but it could have been a lot worse. The fight's actually pretty fun too. It still feels really similar to Zinogre, like it's damn near the same fight. Stygian's gear is kind of mixed. The armor is pretty much trash to be honest. It's latent power and some support skills like tremor res and whatnot. It's not really something anyone's going to be using, which is a shame because it looks badass. Old Stygian armor was evade window, peak performance, dragon attack, and like focus or load up. That would have been way better than what we currently have, I think, if it had adequate slots. Anyway, getting too off topic there. Next is the weapons. Across the board, the weapons look pretty solid. Gunlance has normal 7 shells, which is pretty insane. I'm not really caught up in the other melee weapons. For the gunner side though, the bow is fine, but it's almost identical to the Val Hazak bow, but it doesn't get custom augments, so not really sure if there's ever going to be a reason to use that. The heavy bowgun is literally just the Zinogre bowgun, but with 10 more raw. But the main downside here is that it needs 2 recoil mods to get the spread 3 to recoil 1, whereas the base Zinogre bowgun just needed 1. So you're basically going to trade a mod slot for 10 raw, which is not worth it. So while everyone thinks it's going to be the new Glutton upgrade, it's not quite there, so stick to what you got. Now the light bowgun is straight up orgasmic. This thing is the first light bowgun with spread 3 on recoil 2 and normal reload, and it gets a close range mod. So you don't have to run evade reload anymore, which is fucking great because I hate it. Now you can also run 2 recoil mods to bring it down to a recoil 1 on spread 3, which no other light bowgun in the game can do. That's pretty fucking crazy. But unfortunately, we're kind of stuck here. You can either run 2 reload mods to make it normal reload, but then you're losing out on your close range mods, which is 20% of your damage, or you can run 2 close range mods and be at slow reload, kind of like a 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing. Now also on paper, Garuga is still stronger since it has much more affinity in raw, plus it has evade reload, which is technically better than normal reload. However, it's kind of like a side grade, not a definite upgrade. Now, it's definitely better than the other spread 3 options, but I still think Garuga stands tall here unfortunately. Moving on, more monsters. Ruiner Nergigante. He's got a tempered form now, which you will need a farm for your new slots for your augments. Yay. It also has Papega Slam from 18 Nerg. Yay. And it does Spike Novas when it Papega Slams. Fucking yay. That's about it though. Okay, even more monsters. Jafar, our nice new adult red dragon who has some of the shittiest hit zones I've ever seen. Even Tenderized Gunner can't use weakness exploit on him, face included. The only part that you can hit is his wings, but not even the webbings. It has to be the little limmy parts. So that's gonna be fun, rip spreads. Anyway, he's still super badass. I think everyone's excited to see what the actual fight's gonna be like. It's very much like Behemoth in that it's multiplayer scaled, it has enmity, and it has an ecliptic meteor, but it's also a siege since it's gathering hub only. So it should be fun, can't wait. I really like the teaser we got for him. It was kind of unexpected and it really hyped up the community. People are loving the fight already. His gear is equally badass, and he's got special set bonus that seems like a roided out repeat offender. You get attack, crit, element, but you lose damage per swing, but gain life on hits. Love it. The slots and the skills are not bad at all either, so as long as that set bonus is worth using, it's going to be really good armor. Now Jafar also comes with upgrades for the Xenojiva weapons, to no one's surprise, and they all have 2 level 4 slots, which is kind of crazy. Not really sure if any of them are going to be meta because they're all still pretty bad. Bow is blech, heavy bowgun can't really do anything Zora can't do, and a light bowgun, while kind of amazing for elemental ammo, has one small flaw. Currently, we have recoil 1 fast reload on all our single shot elemental light bowguns, but this one will take 3 recoil mods to get recoil 1, leaving us with just 1 leftover mod for a power barrel, and we're going to stuck with normal reload at that point. The slower reload speed isn't a killer by any means, and I expect the 2 level 4 decos can kind of make up that little DPS gap, because it's basically crit I4 or agitator 4 for free, but it's not all that special. The best thing about it is that it can use all the elemental ammo that way, which may be good for the Jafar fight, so we can kind of look forward to that at least. Now, since he has both armor and weapons, I'm not really sure we're going to get relic stuff like we did with Kolv. I mean, it's going to be like our siege type monster by the way they described it, but it might not have any RNG relics, so maybe we don't have to do this fight 200,000 times. Alright, so the dev diary dropped while I was making this video and detailed how the relic system will work. And holy shit, like Jesus Christ, anything can happen. You should probably watch the dev diary since it's only like 7 minutes, but the basic rundown is that now we will get relics with flat base values, and we get to build them up as we get siege materials. We have RNG stats and skills that we put on up to 5, and you can pass rolls that you don't like, and you can curate the weapon however you want. So RIP gunners, you're going to have to fully customize like 15 weapons at least, but honestly I'm not sure how this will pan out. There could be anything, dude. 2 spare shots an option here, which is fucking nuts. All the bowgun mods, or at least some of the bowgun mods are here, like recoil and stuff, but you can also have specific ammo upgrades. Dude, the recoil mod is huge, and there's reload mod. Anything can happen. We'll just have to see. So rip all other gunner weapons, because built-in true spare shots can be crazy strong. That's basically mandatory on everything going forward, that's for sure. And the baseline stats aren't even that bad. 270 raw, 5 affinity, and a level 4 slot seems to be like the baseline. My only concern right now is that are these base ammo pools for all the bowguns going to be exactly the same, and so you have to waste slots determining what ammo you actually want to use? I mean, that would kind of suck, but I could see that happening. Or are we going to have an extra layer of RNG where our ammo pools are kind of randomized, where there's a set couple, kind of like how Kolv was? But dude, I'm excited. You don't even know. I'm just holy shit. Alright, moving on to future stuff. The Horizon DLC. Still super excited about this stuff. They showed us what the new mechanic will be on the upgraded bowgun. Now, unfortunately, it does require a mod slot, which we're already fucking starved for, so that's kind of a shame. But it looks like you're going to get special ammo while it's active that you can just constantly fire at faster and faster rates, kind of like Valor Heavy Bowgun. Just that the more you shoot, the more damage you will take until it explodes and leaves you on 1 HP, which doesn't seem that bad because that's free heroics and latent power or resentment. Not really sure if it's going to turn thunder ammo into that or if it's going to have new internal ammos with that mod, but we're going to have to see. The damage ramp looks pretty solid on it too, so I'm pretty excited. Now, along with that, we get some new Bannock armor, which I'm sure is cool if you liked Horizon, but the skills look meh, and visually I don't really care for it, so meh. Then we also get the shield weave set, which looks very interesting. The skills are pretty much tailored for the bowgun, no surprise. It's got thunder attack, resentment, and some weakness exploit and health boost, and it's actually got some pretty good slots. The best part is that you basically get like a little rock steady mantle while it's on, like you literally get like 1300 defense and you ignore knockback. It's got limited uses, but it kind of recharges, so who knows how fast. We'll see how it actually plays out. The armor actually looks pretty good. This whole collaboration thing is actually really cool this time around. My only complaint is that we didn't get a Thunderjaw Devil Joe. I mean, come on, it writes itself. So other future content, like all the events and celebrations, come with a whole ton of armors and weapons here. Like, too much to talk about. I'm gonna just kind of flash through all this stuff, but I'll leave an Imgur album link in the description if you want to check all of it out. So as far as armor and weapon stats and skills go, nothing's kind of crazy, special, or meta defining. Most of the stuff is just kind of for fun, but man, some of this stuff looks good just visually. I'm really excited to see some of this stuff on transmoglators. Oh, speaking of, we actually do get more transmogs now, so high rank armors and Zora Magdaros are now layered armors for us, which is pretty cool because the Zora Magdaros armor is fantastic. Love the classical knight look. Everyone should be rocking this, but you know, there's a bunch of other stuff coming out, so that's cool. Now on to augments and other meta stuff. So with the new Guided Lands area, we also get another level of augment because of course, this time Rare 11s get 2 slots on their upgrade and Rare 10 and 12 got 1. This brings Rare 11 much more in line to other weapons, so we can actually fit in some better augments. But we also got more custom augments. Level 7 augments seem pretty decent as Melee gets more sharpness on their Xeno mod, which as I've seen doesn't really mean anything, but it's a thing. Ranged also have the Xeno mod, but it's just element for us. It's 1 point of element like any other mod. So, I mean, this is great because it's making all our customizable bows that much better than the other ones. Now, the affinity also adds 3% of crit at level 7. This is kind of surprising. It's kind of a big jump there. You might want to pick up that one. And the attack is just 1 more point. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much about it for the patch notes. We actually got a ton of stuff this time around, and it's actually pretty exciting. A lot of good holiday stuff coming around the corner, a lot to talk about, a lot to do, a lot of testing to be done. So yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of all excited again. So thank you, Capcom. And thank you all for watching, and good luck out there, hunters, and whatever you may be hunting.